Welcome back to Mrs. Riley's Maths videos. Today we're looking at surds and we're looking at reducing surds. Now all this work at the start on surds can be done on your calculator, but I don't want you to use your calculator because what I want you to learn is the principles behind how we manipulate surds, how we use them, what are the rules that apply, because when you come to questions where you have letters involved, so algebraic questions, so there's x is under the square root or whatever, it's important that you know what rules apply, and you can't do those on your calculator. Okay, so reducing surds, what do I mean by this? What I mean is that we can add surds together when they're in the same type of unit. So if I had 7 root 2 and I added 10 root 2, that gives me 7 root 2 plus 10 root 2 is 17 root 2. The usual rules of algebra apply. Okay, so if I have the same surd, in this case it's root 2, if I have 7 of them and I have 10 of them, then altogether I have 17 of them. Sometimes we need to do that, but we don't have them in that form of the same surd. So what we have to do is to learn how to reduce surds, in other words, how to make them into the same form so that we can add them together. In this case, what we have is root 8 plus root 32. So what I want to look at here is how would I change those surds so that I can add them together. Now, a key thing to remember in all of this is we'll tend to end up with root 2s, root 3s, root 2s, root 3s, root 7s, root 10s, that kind of things, or we'll end up dividing by 4, dividing by 9, dividing by 49, or dividing by 100, or dividing by 25, or whatever, and you'll see why in a minute. Just keep in mind that what we're looking for each time is we're looking for factors of these numbers that have a square number in them. Okay, so we're looking for something that divides into this number that is a square number. So for instance, root 8 can also be said to be root 4 by 2. Okay, the square number that's in root 8 is 4. 4 goes into 8 twice, so it's 4 by 2. And if you remember from our other day, that means root 4 by root 2. But root 4 is 2, so I've got 2 root 2. Does that make sense? Root 32, what could you do for that? Well, you could say it's root 4 by root 8 and work it through that way, but I think hopefully you'll see that actually 16 is a square number, and 16 also goes into 32. So root 32 could be the square root of 16 by 2, which would be root 16 by root 2, which would be 4 root 2. So what I have now is 2 root 2 plus 4 root 2, which is 6 root 2. Okay, let's look at this one here. I've got root 50 and root 18. Let's see whether I could do anything with these. Root 50. Root 50 would be the square root of 25 by 2, which is root 25 by root 2, which would be 5 root 2. 18. 9 goes into 18, so that would be root of 9 by 2, which would be root 9 by root 2, which would be 3 root 2. So what I have here is 5 root 2 plus 3 root 2, which will be 8 root 2. So root 50 plus root 18 is 8 root 2. Root 50 plus root 18 is 8 root 2. Over here, root 8 plus root 32 was 6 root 2. Here's some other ones that we might try and reduce. 98. So factors of 98. Well, 98 is 2 by 49. So 49 by 2. Root 49 by root 2. Well, 49, as we know, is a square number. That's why I chose it. 7 by root 2. Because 98 is also 14 by 7, but that's useless to me. Root 14 by 7 is just root 14 root 7, which is useless. Now, I suppose if you messed about here, you could say, well, 14 is 2 by 7. So you'd have root 2, root 7, which would work out to be root 2 by 7, and you'd end up with the same answer. But look how much messier it was to get there. root 45 over here. Root 45 is root 9 by root 5, which is root 9 by root 5, which is 3 root 5. Root 12, 4 by 3. Root 4 by 3, root 4 by root 3, which is 2 root 3. Root 200 would be root 2 by 100, or root 100 by 2, which is root 100, root 2, which is equal to 10 root 2. Okay, I hope they're starting to make sense. So remember, the square numbers are 1, 4, 9, 16, 25, 36, 49, 64, 81, 100, 121, 144, 169. So those are the numbers you're looking to be factors. Because if you have the square roots of those, then you'll be able to make them into whole numbers. I hope that helps.